So thank you very much for accepting to be interviewed. Um, I'm really curious to know more about you, more about the Devuego project, and how this has impacted the Spanish game dev community and the industry. And I don't know, there's just so many things we can talk about. But maybe I think we could start with what was talking about. What was your introduction to video games, or do you remember what was when was the first time you actually had contact with a video game, either on a computer or a console? Was it your console or in a friend's house, something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. And well, the first time I played video games was with the Amstrad CPC Fox 6464 of my brother. So I was quite old, I think. I was born in the 1982, so my first contact with game was the 8-bit microcomputers, like as I mentioned, the Amstrad CPC and the Spectrum, and well, that's how it started. Then my I think it was in Christmas holidays that I get a Nintendo 8-bit and with Super Mario and then at that time my grandfather was also a player and he bought a Sega Master System, so I have both 8-bit consoles to play with in the early 90s. And then it was I didn't have 16-bit consoles. So it was some years I didn't have nor PC or consoles. I had the Game Boy also, and but I didn't have, as I mentioned, the 16-bit consoles or the next console generation, the PlayStation or the Saturn. I didn't have any of those. And then I have a Nintendo 64, so it was mid 90s when I have another play system in my house, and then I also have a PC. And well, since that I remember playing games all of my life, and I have both PC and console of maybe I think all generations. So well, I remember playing games since the first from my early years, and I always love video games.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, I think the Amstrad CPC was a total unknown here in Portugal, where the Spectrum was a huge thing, and there were other computers like the Atari XL and the
Mhm.
Texas Instruments. No, but even those were just a small. Oh, yes, obviously Commodore 64, later on the Amiga,
Yes.
but yeah, but the Spectrum was the main thing. And Amstrad CPC is something I hear about people mentioning in Spain, but here in Portugal
Yes.
it seems to be quite a rare sight.
Yes, here in
That's
Spain,
interesting.
it was a big thing, the Amstrad and the Spectrum. I think the two more played maybe microcomputers in that time.
Okay, so then when have you first heard about games made in Spain? By the way, I think that's also an interesting thing to explore.
The first time I heard about Spanish games,
Yes.
well, I think it was in my in my teen years, I was a big fan of football. So I played a game that was very popular here, PC football.
Oh yes.
I don't know, maybe you know it. And well, at that time I knew the that game was developed here in Spain, but I didn't give him much credit for that. I think maybe at that time I think it was normal to have some games developing in Spain, and well, it was just another game for me. It doesn't matter. It was developing in Spain or outside Spain. I think it was well, and that time also there was many point and click adventures, graphic adventures developing in Spain, like the ones from Pendulum Studio, and well, in the golden age of graphic adventures. I love playing some graphic adventures. Now I don't have maybe the patience to play graphic adventure, but at that time maybe it was one of my favorite genres. And I knew that there was some video games developed in Spain, but as I said, I didn't much credit for that. It was normal for me.
Mm, interesting. And then, how did how did the Devuego project exactly come to be? Okay, I don't know much uh, about your career. If you are working currently in the video game area, or if if the Devuego project is connected to that or not. So maybe tell us something about yourself.
No, my job doesn't have it does have anything in common with video games. I work as a IT technician, and I work in the IT, and I work in an office. Uh, But well, as I said before, video games were part of my life. I always loved video games, and always loved to create things, to make my own things, not just be a spectator of, or just be well. I want to be part of it, no? And yeah, in the middle 90s, I think I started some websites about other topics I like music or football, and but it was until uh, 2005 or 2005 or so that I start writing about video games to other websites and blogs. And well, I was writing articles, reviews. Was reviewing games for other websites, and then well, at that time I also have websites about music, but I didn't have my own site about video games. And then like 12 years ago, 2013, yes, 12 years ago, while I was writing in my spare time articles, video game articles to other websites. Uh, I was thinking about writing about Spanish video games developed in Spain, maybe look for recent releases or future releases of those who were successful. And when I started searching for information on that topic about Spanish video games, I didn't find anything. There was a lot of information about the 80s and the early 90s, known as the golden age of Spanish video games, like the Oro. And but there was no information about the current video games. There was under development, or the ones who just released very few information, maybe just one or two that were very successful international or something. And well, at that time, I also had another website about video games, but about voice acting, doblaje videojuegos. It is a website about the Spanish actors and actresses that put voice to video game characters. You can look for which actor or actress had the voice of any video game that was to dubbed into Spanish. And well, I took the structure, the same structure from that website, and then I created the web. I think it's a good idea to create a website dedicated to only Spanish developed video games. So well, that was how it all started. At first, it was just the database, but then, well, as I just go by, well, we start. Many people join the project, and then we start creating some other, as I like to say, legs of the project, like the podcast or like the YouTube channel or very first or last project that was the Anunciar, the book, no, the yearly book of Spanish video games. Well, then as the years go by, well, the project grow and well, it is what is now.
So first you started by adding just by yourself, the video games and information, and then slowly, more people started wanting to help, and they joined the
Yeah.
team. Well, and
Mhm.
and you also have the option of receiving messages from people that are external to the website with contributions. Uh, well, did you get when the website started getting popular? Did you get swamps with messages with people wanting to add their own games and own information? Or oh yeah, but there's also the option to open accounts, right, for developers and the companies and everything. So there's also that option. Hmm. Uh, we have to talk about the Devuego Portugal more ahead, but I'm a little bit afraid of how it's going to be when the floodgates open and people start sending information.
Well, that option in the web was a quite recent option. I think I developed it like 2 or 3 years ago. Uh, Most of the time, the information was added by me or my collaborators, but and then we had loads of messages and mails from people, from developers, from companies, and who want their games or their companies or their information added to the database. But I was also afraid of that option. I've been a lot of people ask for that option, no? The option to add or your own information to create an account and add or edit your own information. And I was like she was afraid of that, of open that possibility to people. But well, as well, creating some I developed it as an option with many security options, and well, there is backup of everything, and we double check everything to so nobody can delete or add wrong information on purpose, and so well. If you create it with some carefully, well, you can expect people to to add the card to take it easy and add the correct information and help to create a biggest database and more complete database. Well, and the Devuego Portugal, we'll see how it works.
So Okay, but still about the Devuego Spain, well, when did you start seeing so that the database was having some impact? Um, because, well, I think at first it might not have been that easy to reach out to the developers and the associations that there were probably back in that time. So how was the how was that process? When did you start to get noticed by the media, by developers, by people? What did you have to do? What were your struggles?
Well, it took some time at first. Well, there was some friendly some friendly people who help a lot to reach other, well, to reach the industry, the people in the industry, the people who works there, and the studios and the companies. But well, it took years to create the brand, no? To be known, to be respected for, as a place to, well, to be the place to, well, Spanish video games can join, and have a place to be, and to be, well, to reach every person who is interested in Spanish video games, in Spain, in games developed in Spain. There are not a lot of people. Now I think we have like 13,000 followers in X, the former Twitter. And but it took, well, if you do the math, is 1,000 people per year. And even though I think most of people who are followers, who are community, are people who are part of the industry. Maybe there's not lots of people outside the own industry. So, well, we use a lot the social media. The our main social account is the X, the Twitter. And well, we try to collaborate with any media, any people, any project who was willing to help, to reach more people, and to, well, have more exposure to everything who could, well, add information, or add interest to our database, to our project in general. It was difficult because, as I mentioned, um, there's not many people, I think, who is interested, really interested in the games developed in Spain, outside the industry. But well, I think we made a bit of work. I think we could be proud of what we made until now. For giving more exposure to games developed in Spain, to Spanish video games, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, so sort of it seems like it's mainly a tool for the community, the game dev community, but it's very important to have a website that journalists can access, where they know what is being done. You know, because it's not that common, but once in a while there's some journalist that wants to talk about, at least here, video games made in Portugal. People are actually making
Mm.
video games, and so in
Mhm.
the same way that when they search for Portuguese video games, they find a list on Wikipedia that is very incomplete and has a lot of well, and it's very outdated. So in the
Mm.
same way that there should be some place for the journalists to access, anybody who is curious, or and students deserve to have their works registered somewhere, and also to
Mm.
they should know what studios do we have, what is our history, and I bet that there's in the courses or video game courses over there, they also have to learn a little bit about video game history. So it's very important that there's database with information that they can access also to help them in their studies. Uh, yeah, so I understand that there aren't many followers. I'm also not expecting much over here, but this is an essential project, something that's very important for years to come for both of our industries as they are growing.
Yeah, this is a niche project. We will never have the disclosure of websites or projects dedicated to mass media games, no? But it's necessary. Is necessary to have a database like ours. I think in Spain and in Portugal and in every country. I think it was very useful. I think most well, not only people for industry, as I said before, but also, as you said, people, well, journalists or investigators or any and maybe students who made their great project about video games or the industry in Spain found our website very useful and almost essential for doing their projects or their works or whatever. So I think it's necessary. It doesn't matter if we is famous or not, or if he reach as many people as we would like to reach. But I think it is necessary to have that information in one site, in one a
One
place
single
like
place.
you know you can find always the information or at least part of the information you want to, well, for you, for whatever you need.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. There's always the researchers, and here in Portugal there's not much of that, but there's a lot of publishers releasing books about video games over there, and I've seen quite a few books about the history of Spanish video games. I think I remember Genesis, or I think that was the name,
Yes. Mhm.
and that was a really nice book. Something I'm interested in reading someday. And I've been seeing a lot more books, with interviews and information databases, not databases, but lists of games from the 80s, from the 90s, and I bet that
Mhm.
many of them might have also taken some information or gotten some guidance, looking at the Fuego. to
Mhm.
well, I
Yeah, here in Spain there are lots of like as I said before, the website. There are many books about the golden age of Spanish video games, like from the 80s and the early
yeah, from
90s. But from
dynamic.
the mid 90s to until, well, when we started, like 2000, 2013, um, there are not many books. There are many books written in Spain about video games, but not many books about Spanish video games. Apart from the 80s and the 90s. So I think it is there are lots of place to to investigate and to research about that topic.
Hmm. Well, and after the Vigo Spain, then when were you contacted? What was the first project that came out of the? Yeah, I don't know how to exactly approach this. So I know that there was the Devuego LATAM, the
Mhm.
people who approached you to do a version of this project, but for Latin America, but that didn't work out all that well. I don't know if you are interested in talking about that or not. um,
Yeah. Well, the Devuego LATAM project started in 2020, when we was in the middle of the COVID-19 disease, and well, it was it, it was a person, I would say, who contacted me about he was from, I don't remember if from Mexico, from Venezuela, or I don't remember, and he loved the Devuego project, and he wanted to create the same project but about Latin
America.
America studios and games. And well, I was open to it. I started working on the site, on the website. I took for the structure of the web of Spain and well, adapted it to well, to have many countries at the same time. And I had to do some tricks on the website to have all those information about many countries at the same time. And well, on the other side, but it was easy because it was in Spanish also. So well, that was a part we had to work on the Devuego Portugal. Uh,
Yes.
but well, when I had the agreement was to me to have to take the structure and to have the technical part of to take the technical part of the project, and this person will to the well to add the data to add the information to the website. But when I have all the website created and all the structure working and the domains and the servers and everything just uh, prepared to start the project. Well, this person vanished. So, well, I have an empty, a blank website about LATAM video games. So I decided to start adding myself the information and see what I can, what it took me to, and well, I had some help from other collaborators and other members of the whole team paying to help me to take this project. And but we didn't have the time to well to manage the Bobo Spain and the Bobo Latam at the same time and have and dedicate in the same time to both projects. It was impossible. Well, the project is there. We add information whenever we had it to it, but we don't have the time to dedicate it to the same as we do to the web of Spain. So and we couldn't find people interested in well in collaborate with this project and be part of this project and dedicating the time to it. So well, it is there. It has well, I think lots of information, but it's not as complete as the one of Spain.
Maybe somebody that's hearing this wants to help and continue building
Yes,
the database. They can always contact you.
you're welcome.
But I think that the main, for me, I would say the main problem with that website is the scope. Because if it's just a single country, you can find a small group of people who might be able to contribute to it, and you get to develop the present everything. But if you're doing something that's across all, South America or something like that, it's just a huge task, and it's very hard to coordinate efforts with volunteers and associations and this and that. And well, maybe that person started this as a project. Well, everybody started some kind of project during COVID to pass the time, and when things got better, back to normal. Maybe he didn't have the time anymore, and yeah, but
Yeah.
we vanished.
Well, his idea at the time was to contact other people, maybe people from all these countries, maybe some one person or two from every country, who was specialized or who has who know their country and the video games of their country. So well, to create a team of people from all these countries, and every each one of those will have his his own specialization on every country, but well, it didn't go well, and well, it's difficult. Well, many of these countries are very small and didn't have much video games, but there are countries like Mexico, Brazil, especially Brazil in recent years,
Mm.
who had a big industry, and maybe their games they not have many successful or international successful games, but they have loads of games. They have loads of developers and studios, and well, there's a lot of information to add. So well, Uh, it is really a tough task to embark with, but well, I don't feel comfortable closing the project. So well, I think I'm
Somebody will show up
waiting
eventually.
for waiting for some miracle or some well, sometimes you don't know where these things happen, and then maybe one year a team of people could take the website and well guide it to where the web of Spain is now or something even better. I don't know.
Well, but we live and learn, and there's always some, and we learn with these projects what to do or what not to do. And so, by this example, I think we're going we're doing the right thing, by well, first we're focusing exclusively in Portugal, and I'm also, well, I have been collecting information for a very long time, but we also have more people helping, and I already have a lot of contacts, people who have been telling, I'm working on a database with the friends, and I think these people are also going to contribute. I have to tell them how to contribute, and we have to take care of the accounts and everything. But I'm hoping that soon Devuego Portugal will start having more activity. Yes, but the most important thing. So, can you tell me how this whole Devuego Portugal thing started? Because Filipe was the one who contacted you first, and well, he already knew that I had been building a database. I've been collecting video games in physical format and making lists for I don't know how long, but for me it was just this Excel file that then I put on a simple blog or website, and well, that was nice, but people wanted more, so I made it into an editable Excel file on Google Sheets. But then I barely got any contributions. I had like maybe 5 people sending stuff, and we really needed something better, and something that would allow everybody to contribute, and that would have the information more easily accessible, easily readable. And then, well, Philip told me about you, but I don't know. Tell me on your side how you did you how did things work out
Yeah,
between you?
yeah. Well, it was I think 1 year ago that Jesus Fabre contacted me. He was doing some kind of trip from Portugal to Galicia, to Spain, Galicia, Spain. We are or your northern neighbors, and he came to here to Santiago de Compostela, where I live, and he wanted to join me to meet me is because we already know each other from many years ago from well internet mails social media and stuff, but we didn't know each other personally in person. So well he wanted to join me to meet me here, and well when he arrived he was with another person who was Filipe Veiga. And well, we were talking, and Filipe was working on her laptop. When his laptop, I think he has some job to be done, some work to be done, and we were speaking, Jesus and me, in Spanish. And I think Felipe didn't know much about Spanish, but he was with here on our conversation. I think he got some about our conversation about the Devuego in the Spanish industry. And he also, well, I think I also give Jesus a copy of the Anuario de Devuego. And well, when we're while we was talking, I think he looked at the pages of the Anuario. Maybe he thought it was interesting, and well, we didn't talk a lot about. I think in that day we didn't talk a thing about creating Devuego Portugal or anything like that. We only talk about Devuego Spain and which what could we do, what could be doing in Devuego Spain to have it, well, to have more features and to have more options added to the website. But I think we didn't talk anything about creating Devuego Portugal. And it was some months later that I don't know if it was Jesus or directly Felipe who contacted me about, well, it would be interesting to create a branch of the Devuego, maybe not the Devuego Portugal. At that time we could maybe think about just well, to take the structure, the technical part of the web, and create another website with another name or whatever. But well, I think it could be interesting to make the Devuego brand grow
Yes.
and travel to other countries like our neighbor, you know. And well, we start talking and thinking how we could be possibly be done and reach an agreement. And well, I already said him that well, I had another uh, uh, not very good um,
You told him about
a
your
very good
experience with the LATAM.
right experience. I didn't have another good. I have another very good experience before with the same idea, but he said he was well, he was confident and he was sure that he was going to be serious and give give what needs to be done to take this project to reality. And well, then he talked about you and was a person who had no information about the Portuguese video games and the video game industry, especially retro games from old games. And what we think about creating this branch of the web, and well, this is what we are now. It is working at least at last.
Yes, and so we finally have the Devuego Portugal. I think it's really interesting that both these big databases in Spain and Portugal are connected. We are part of the same network because it seems like we are a little bit separated. Portugal, we're very closed off, and it's strange that we don't have much contact with our neighbors. I think it's you see more Portuguese developers contacting people in the UK or the US or something than or well, Brazil like we do
Mm.
than with Spain. And then we look at Spain and there's so much stuff. There's retro events, there's modern events, there's huge video game industry, books and magazines, and there's everything. And Portugal is kind of there's not much going on here. The video game journalism kind of died a few years ago. We rarely see any books. There is a video game development, but there is a huge retro homebrew scene in Spain, and here it's not that strong. But I think it's very nice that we are connecting, and hopefully we can also get some inspiration from you guys and start growing here our the areas that are not so strong, like hopefully publishing more books, maybe doing more development for retro platforms, all those things that I've been following so closely and that I love so much about what's happening on your side. Maybe we can also get some of that here.
I think it is. It depends on who you compare with. I think we here in Spain think we don't have the industry nor the books or the scene or the events comparing with other countries. But maybe if we compare with Portugal,
Yes,
well,
yes.
we are bigger or we have many production or well the of or people interested or people in the scene or whatever. But well, I think there's if the website was with another name, or it was the same project but with other name, well, I think it wasn't have the same power. I think I like to think that the web is
It's a strong
is
brand.
well known is a well known brand here in Spain, and I think it can help the Portugal the Portugal scene or the Portugal industry to well to reach other well here, first here in Spain, and then we don't know it could reach other countries. I can say this is not the first country interested in creating the Devuego branch. I can reveal what other country was interested in that, but that project never came to reality. So maybe in the future we can the Devuego brand can even
If it grow more.
grow grow bigger. But well, this is the first apart from the Devuego LATAM, this project of all, Devuego Portugal is our first collaboration. We didn't say it yet, but we are collaborating with the APVP,
APVP, yes.
the Portuguese Developer Association. It is important. We were here in Spain had some collaborations with the IAB, Spanish. Well, we have two associations here in Spain. One is more focused on the development part, and the other is more focused on the bigger industry. We have good relationship with both of them. We have an agreement with IAB, and I think it's important to have that support from biggest associations or the most important associations in each country. And well, as I said, I think the world is respect here in Spain. I think it could help Portugal to well to give some credit to what we are doing now. Could we do for the Portuguese industry or the Portuguese scene?
It's yes, it's very important to have to be able to share information with these associations, from both sides, and also having their kind of seal of approval is is a very nice thing. It means that people can look at us as the official database. Well,
Mm.
there's another thing I'd like to ask. So right now, what are the branches of the Virgo Spain? Because I'd like to also help grow the Virgo, not just be a website here in Portugal with a database of games. I know you're doing a lot of interesting things, podcasts, interviews, and whatnot. So what else are you doing over there? How many are these branches, as I was saying, of the Virgo?
Yeah. Well, the most important, of course, is the database. We currently in the global the the part of the video game database, specifically video games, but in the Global Spain database we have also books and events and and video game press like websites and podcasts and YouTube channels or streaming channels in Twitch or whatever. Any person or any company who is creating something related to video games here in Spain is in our database. So this is the main part of our project or the main pillar of the Pueblo. But we also have the blog, the usual website where we write articles, we write reviews, write make written interviews with people from the industry or with companies, with studios, and it was this the blog was the first leg the first branch of the web, and then we created the podcast. We have a podcast named Deathcast. It's a combination of death and podcast, as you can imagine. And well, we are a non-profit association, so the people who are part of the Pueblo or who collaborate with the Pueblo gives, to say something, their free time to help the project. So along the 12 years we were being active. Well, sometimes we had a lot of people collaborating. Sometimes we were just two or three people here. So depending on how many people were collaborating at the time, we could create more content or having more presence on the internet. And well, we sometimes we could create YouTube videos with, for example, unboxings of physical releases of Spanish video games, or we could make interviews, live interviews with people from the industry, or we could create um, live streaming, playing video games, Spanish video games, or whatever. So we try to well to be present in every format of content, like the written content, the live content, and wherever. And then, well, 12, two, 2 years ago, yes, just 2 years ago, we created our first, well, the last frontier, as I like to say, the last frontier well, the world could reach. It was the paper, the books. So we wanted to have the world. We think about creating a yearbook, Anuario Devuego, who is it is a book with the most important games of the year. From our point of view, the most important Spanish video games of every year. We write a text of for every of these most important games, we think. And well, we are close to release our third yearbook, our third Anuario de Juego from 2024. We were selecting the 50 most important video games created in Spain in 2024, and well, I think we reached any well any format of media or any format we could in in the last years, and well, we are happy to reach people and to talk about the Spanish video games and to promote the Spanish video games on every format we.
Mm. Okay, well, I think we've talked about everything, at least what happened. So, well, maybe we could stop here if you don't mind, unless you have something else you want to share. Mm.
Well, I'm very happy to be part of the Devuego Portugal, and I hope we can create something similar to what is the Devuego Spain right now, and maybe sometime we could release the Anuario de Devuego Portugal.
Oh, that would be nice. Well, but
It
this
will be
still have
nice.
so much work ahead. Mm. No, okay. Well then, thank you very much for being here with me today. And well, we're going to keep talking. And well, you can people who are watching us, you can expect more news from the Devuego Portugal and the Devuego Spain too soon. Okay.
Yes, thank you for having me, and well, we will keep talking. We have much a lot of work to do.
Okay. Thank you.